Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times in prison, and now he says he didn't do it. Not the stabbing, the shooting. Meanwhile, China snuck into the US for a backchannel trade deal. And Israel? Well, they're gearing up for what they call the final phase. This is CTRL ALT. What the f? Tory Lanez, who was convicted for shooting Thee Stallion, just got stabbed 14 times in prison. Yup, 14 multiple wounds, targeted attack. The incident happened inside a California facility. He survived, but the reports are rough. Now, as that story is unfolding, a new one is dropping. A former bodyguard of Kelsey Harris, Megan's former best friend and key witness in the trial, claims it was Harris, not Tory, who fired the gun that night. Let that sink in. Lane's legal team is apparently preparing a press conference. They say new evidence could prove his innocence. And if that's true, this whole case, well, it could get flipped. Now, quick rewind for context. The shooting happened in 2020 after a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Megan claimed Tory shot her in the foot after an argument. He denied it, but in 2022, he was convicted on 3 felony accounts. The case blew up online. Fans took their sides. So, this new bodyguard testimony, it's pouring gas on a fire that never really went out. Well, you might ask, why does this matter? Well, the internet is already split down the middle again. One side sees this as justice possibly being undone. The other thinks we're watching a setup unravel in real time. And the fact that this is coming out while he's recovering from a brutal prison attack? The timing alone is pretty wild. From prison drama to diplomatic shade, China's been playing the long game in secret. So this story starts with Trump making a claim a few weeks ago that the US and China are already talking trade. Beijing, well, they denied it hard. But a South Korean newspaper caught something different. On April 24th, a senior Chinese official along with 12 staffers entered the US Treasury building. G20 credentials visible, press blocked, photos deleted on the spot. Yep, that happened. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Just days later, a massive trade deal dropped. U.S. dropped tariffs on Chinese imports from 145% to 30%. China cut theirs from 125% to 10%. Boeing delivery bans, those are lifted. Restrictions on rare earth exports, gone. And all this comes after months of what looked like total silence. These secret meetings, well, they were real. And they show that even in a pride-fueled trade war, face-saving meets back channels. Diplomatic sources called it a critical turning point, and it looks like they were right. This isn't just about tariffs. This is about who controls the narrative and who gets to blink first without looking weak. China tried denying that talks were happening at all, but clearly they were under enormous domestic and global pressure. And Trump, well, he was telling the truth on this one. And while China quietly unraveled a trade war, Israel is loudly gearing up for a real one. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke to IDF reservists this week, and he didn't mince his words. Quote, "In the coming days, we are going in with full force," end quote. He's talking about Gaza. The plan? A final push to defeat Hamas and liberate the remaining 58 hostages. One hostage, Israeli-American Eden Alexander, was freed on Monday, but Netanyahu said, even if more are released, the operation continues, end quote. The Israeli government says it expects over 1 million Gazans to evacuate before the operation begins. Rights groups, well, they're sounding alarms, calling it potential forced displacement. But the IDF insists that this is the only way to strip Hamas of its civilian shield. Envoys Steve Witt and Adam Bowler met hostage families in Tel Aviv. Then they flew to Doha. They say that there's still a chance to strike a deal through Qatari intermediaries. But Netanyahu's cabinet hasn't said yes or no. And while that's unfolding, Israel's ground forces are lining up. This isn't just another phase. It's being framed as the final phase. And if it goes ahead, it won't just impact the region. It will dominate global headlines for weeks. If this episode made you do a double take, that's the point. We drop this level of info daily. So hit subscribe, ring the bell, do what you gotta do. Stabbings, secret deals, and a war on the edge. Damn, it's not even Friday. This was CTRL ALT WTF. Stay curious, stay cool, and maybe keep your passport handy. I don't know.